Welcome back to Morning Manna. I'm Pastor James, and this is day 4 of this series on followership. The last 2 days we talked about our posture as a follower through obedience, submission, and respect. Today, we're going to look at a most practical application of being a follower: prayer. Now, the Bible is clear. Christians are meant to seek God's guidance for our leaders and those in authority. Yet many of us are so consumed with fear, frustration, or even apathy that we have forsaken these instructions. 1 Timothy chapter 2, verses 1 through 3 says, "First of all, then, I urge that supplications, prayer, intercessions, and thanksgiving be made for all people, for kings and all who are in high positions, that we may lead a peaceful and quiet life, godly and dignified in every way. This is good, and it is pleasing in the sight of our God, our Savior." This passage offers a pointed proclamation about the importance of prayer for leaders. Paul specifically says that we should pray for kings and those in authority, that we should live godly lives. Notice again that it doesn't say pray for those in authority with whom we agree. This also applies at work. No matter how large or small your workplace or business might be, the working relationship between the work team's members and the boss or supervisor is one of the most important pieces of the puzzle that keeps any business or organization functioning well. No boss or supervisor has the total package of people skills, wisdom, and experience needed to lead and supervise well. That's why praying for your boss or supervisor is one of the most important things you can do. Prayer not only asks for God's blessing and empowerment for your boss or supervisor, but it also helps you view them with more grace and gives you better insight into the complexity of their job. I know there have been many times that I've had to pray for those over me. There have been times when things have not gone well between me and a supervisor, such as receiving rejection or criticism on a plan I was writing or a project I was leading, or not receiving an assignment or duty station I wanted or thought I was entitled to get. Instead of letting myself dwell on those negative feelings, I prayed for them instead. And I noticed that getting over a disappointment with something a boss has done doesn't happen overnight. It takes repeated prayers every morning for God's grace to be at work. So I prayed for my bosses, and it helped me surrender a little more of my ill feelings daily and learn to trust that God will help me stay in a good working relationship. Paul and many throughout the centuries knew that God listens to and considers the prayers of God-fearing people. James writes about Elijah, "The effective, fervent prayer of a righteous man avails much." Elijah was a man with a nature like ours, and he prayed earnestly that it would not rain. And it did not rain on the land for 3 years and 6 months. And he prayed again, and the heaven gave rain, and the earth produced its fruit. That's from James chapter 5, verse 16 through 18. You see, God-fearing people are not meant to sit back and accept whatever may come. We ought to fight in prayer for our leaders, regardless of what type of person that leader may be. We read in Proverbs 21:1, "The king's heart is in the hands of the Lord. Like the rivers of water, he turns it wherever he wishes." See, God's eyes roams the earth to find those who are loyal to him and fully support them. Paul exhorted the churches to pray for those in authority so that God could act on behalf of those who would serve him. We must stand up for something in an ungodly world. If we don't take up this fight in prayer in this way, what is right? Who will do that? God bless you guys, and we'll see you again tomorrow.